Are you ready to transform your pool into a stunning oasis? At Mainland Pool Service, they're a family-owned business committed to keeping your pool looking pristine all year round. They believe that pool care should be proactive, not reactive, which is why their skilled team handles everything from routine cleaning to complex issues with precision. They prioritize clear communication and personalized solutions to exceed your expectations. Join the Mainland Pool Service family today and experience the difference their expertise and dedication can bring to your relaxation retreat. Contact them now at mainlandpoolservice.com.
The long goodbye begins. A very special evening with Journey. Final Frontier Tour. Journey. Tickets are on sale now at journeymusic.com. Your chance to say goodbye to the songs that changed our lives. Journey. Final Frontier Tour.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis. Own the 2025-26 Grizzlies season with the 10-game Flex Pack, the ultimate way to catch all the action on your terms. Choose your favorite matchups from intense rivalries to weekend thrillers and customize your pack to fit your schedule. With 10 games to pick, you'll never miss the moments that matter most. Visit Grizzlies.com/packs today to build your perfect ticket pack and cheer on the Grizzlies your way. It's your team, your season, and your schedule, so don't miss out.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish, speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you're not dumb enough like some of us to count chickens before they hatch. Bennett, we messed up again. We did it again.
You messed up.
You were right there with me.
No, you talked me into it.
But you were right there with me at the end.
I feel like I was pulled into this.
But you were standing with me. Mm-hmm. We messed up again. We need to take responsibility for the role we possibly played in the Grizzlies losing to the lowly Wizards this weekend. Though I do think other people should maybe take some responsibility as well.
Yeah, probably.
We'll talk about it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let's set today's schedule for you. The next segment, Michael Eaves is going to join me. He hosts SportsCenter for ESPN. I talked to him about a number of things, including a wild weekend in the NFL. Caleb Williams made a legendary throw in a Bears win. DK Metcalf smacked a fan. A lot going on in the association. I'll talk to Michael Eaves about it. National Football League, rather. Michael Eaves is going to join me in about 20 minutes. When I finish talking to Michael Eaves, we'll take a break, come back, do 5 things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Penny Hardaway's Tigers went to Starkville this weekend and lost. Final score, Mississippi State 71, Memphis 66. So the Tigers are now 4-7 overall, 1-6 in the first 2 quadrants. Quadrant 4 loss on the resume. Simply put, their at-large hopes are cooked. We'll mourn what used to be our favorite and best thing in about 40 minutes. From the when it rains, it pours department, Memphis quarterback A.J. Hill is entering the transfer portal after just 2 summers ago committing to the Tigers and immediately becoming one of the highest-ranked recruits in program history. Now he's gone after appearing in exactly 2 games. Not surprising, also not ideal. We'll discuss that in just a bit. Yeah, we're going to talk college football playoff with Michael Eaves in the next segment, but I still want to specifically focus on and applaud Ole Miss's 41-10 victory over Tulane that pushed the Rebels to what amounts to the Elite Eight at the college football playoff. Awesome stuff down at Vaught Hemingway. We'll talk about that a little later on in the show. Arizona State coach Kenny Dillingham a former Memphis assistant, has rejected interest from Michigan, signed a new contract with his alma mater. Afterward, he had some hilarious, interesting comments. We'll play them for you in the third segment. And as expected, Anthony Joshua did knock out Jake Paul late Friday, broke his jaw, damaged his teeth. Awesome knockout, but comically bad boxing match. I'll ask Bennett what he thought about it during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carryout, and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies because game 28 of a scheduled 82, it was played this weekend in downtown Memphis. The opponent was the Washington Wizards, the lowly Wizards, the 4-win Wizards, the worst record in the NBA Wizards. Entering the game, the Grizzlies were just 1 win away from reaching 500 for the first time since the morning of November 2nd. So just to make sure you get it, the only thing standing between the Grizz and a perfectly even record of 14-14 was a victory over a Wizards team that entered with a 4-21 record and had just lost in San Antonio by 25 points. Yeah, I know. John Morant was injured, plus 8 other dudes. It's obviously ridiculous. We'll get to that. But still at tip-off, despite all the injuries, the Grizz were listed as 12.5-point favorites. So we decided to count chickens. We counted them before they hatched. And once again, we got burned. Final score, Wizards 130, Grizzlies 122. The easiest way for me to summarize what happened Saturday night inside FedEx Forum is for me to simply tell you that the Grizz were up 20 points at one point at home against the worst team in the NBA in front of a nice crowd on the weekend before Christmas. And then they got outscored by 15 points in the third quarter and by another 8 in the fourth quarter. And they lose the game by 8 to the worst team in the NBA. Jaren Jackson Jr., picking up his 5th foul with 7:24 left in the third. That didn't help things. The Grizz were up 13 when he left the game. 7 minutes and 24 seconds later, in other words, at the end of the third quarter, heading into the fourth, the score was tied. Whole lead gone. They gave a bad team life, and they got burned in the fourth. So now the Grizz are 2 games below 500, and you're not going to believe what's next.
What's up?
Oh, buddy, cover your ears. If you can't beat the worst team in the NBA at home, what are you going to do with the best team in the NBA on the road? Challenging as it might be, that's the Grizzlies' task tonight. It's the Thunder in OKC. You either got to beat them at Paycom or fall 3 games below 500. Oh, by the way, also 8 players out tonight. Ja, Zach. Brandon Clark, because Jesus Christ.
God.
Literally 1 game after returning from off-season surgery and looking good.
Yes.
Brandon Clark left Saturday's loss just 4 minutes in and has subsequently been sidelined with a dreaded calf strain. Big Bet Bennett, good to see you on this Monday morning, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, pause. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, man.
How many is that for you now?
I'm 39 years old.
Okay.
Yes.
Look at you.
So
Man, you don't
last year of my 30s.
Well, hey, you enjoy
Contrary to what some people may believe, still in my 30s.
Bennett's still in his 30s.
Yeah,
Don't let that beard fool you. Hey, do you stress about possibly reaching your 40s? Is that a thing for you?
No, you do. I think there's some bucket list things that you have in your head. There's man, I wish I would have done this before I turned 30. You've done that before I turned 40.
Yeah, you're gonna have those for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
you will die with those.
Yeah. So other than that, no, everything's good.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I feel about the same.
I would just tell you, I think it's natural for a person of any age to. You look forward to certain dates, and then you start not looking forward to them, right? So when you're a kid, you look forward to being a teenager. When you're a teenager, you look forward to being 21. Yep. And then I think that's kind of where it stops. You might look forward to getting out of college, but I don't think people really look forward to getting to 30. But I have submitted this for a long time. 30's better than 20s.
Yeah.
At least they were for me.
I would agree.
They were for me. The 20s are hard unless you come from a good place, because you're scrapping and clawing, trying to get out of college, and you ain't got nothing, and you're broke most of the time, or at least that was my experience.
Everything out.
Yeah, you don't know what you're doing. You're too young to have any good ideas. Or at least I was, and so my 20s were all over the place. 30s, fine.
Mine too.
40s, I've had a good time in my 40s.
Okay.
Broadly speaking, ups and downs, I guess, but I was 40s, and now I'm I don't know. I'd be happy. I'd go through my 40s again.
It is so funny how in your your teens and your 20s, you're looking forward to getting older, and then when you get there, you're I wish I could go back to that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
If we were smart enough to recognize that in real time, we'd all probably be better people for it.
I think that's true.
We should work on that.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
Man.
That's what I wanted to say. I got 2 questions for you. Do you have any antidepressants you could share?
Do not.
Do you want to apologize for counting chickens before they hatched?
Well, I think you should apologize. You sucked me into that. You brought me into that. I was skeptical. I don't like counting chickens before they hatch. I was very skeptical, and you were like, "We're gonna do it," and I was like, "You know what? It's the freaking Wizards. Like, it's a home game against the freaking Wizards. I think I can count my chickens before they hatch. You know what? I will join you. I will join you in counting my chickens before they hatch." Never again. I will never, ever, ever. I don't care the opponent. I don't care how many players they have. I'll never do it again.
It felt like a great place to count chickens. All right? It felt like a great place to count chickens in the spirit of the holiday season. You got kids. Noah's out there right now.
Yes.
I bet you got a Christmas tree in your house right now. It's got presents under it. Got his name on them. Some of them, right? Mm-hmm. All right. I bet you he'd like to open one, right? I bet he's busted you up on that. Hey, Dad, can I just get one, right?
One, yep.
And every once in a while, you'll be like, hey, we're real excited. Christmas is going to be amazing. But, we don't have to wait for Christmas to have a good day. Let's celebrate it today. If you want to open a present early, open a present early. Let's have a good time right now. That's all I was trying to do on Friday. Honest to God, hand the heart. That's all I was trying to do. I wasn't necessarily trying to count chickens. I was trying to open a present early. I assumed we had a victory in a box wrapped up with a bow on it. It was a victory over the Wizards, the lowly Wizards, the 4-win Wizards. I thought that was a present under our tree. We could save it, open it late Saturday night, but I wanted to open it Friday morning with you. I knew I wasn't going to see you on Saturday night. I was in Atlanta. I wanted to open it with you. I want to celebrate with you on Friday. Open a present early. Let's open this Wizards present early. That was my mindset. I figured there's no better present to open early. There's no better place to count chickens before they hatch. Yeah, you're down 9 dudes, but you're still a 12.5-point favorite because they suck. They're the Wizards.
Yeah, and when it got tight and when they got back in the game, I was like, this is bad, because you knew how shorthanded they were, and at the end of that game, they looked tired. And then also you give a team that never wins like a little bit of life, and they're like, hey, we're tied with 12 to go. Yes.
We're not usually tied with 12 to go. We're usually out the game already.
You also got notorious Grizz killer CJ McCollum that plays for them, and he's always awesome in this building.
That guy.
Yep.
Right. So it was just a mess. But I really do think there's something to that. You gave a bad team some life that it didn't think it had. There's a million places where you're up 20, take it to 25, game's probably over. All right? You're up 13, Jaren doesn't pick up the 5th foul, you probably cruise to a victory. But you didn't take it from 20 to 25. You took it from 20 down to 13, then the foul. Then you take it from 13 down to 0. Now we got a game, and, Jaren didn't do much in the 4th. I think it was 0 of 3 from the field, had more fouls than made baskets.
Yeah.
So.
No, it was bad. I mean, listen, he took accountability for it after the game, and I don't want to pile on, but he was busting up Alex Sarr and Marvin Bagley the first half of that game, and when he was unavailable in the second half of the game, they both were very good.
Yeah, he's a difference maker.
Yeah,
that's why he's been an all-star. It's why he has his contract. He's supposed to be a difference maker, and he can be, and he was much of last week. But he wasn't on Saturday, and the result was a loss. Hey, we got some breaking news this morning.
What's going on?
We're back in the hardship game.
Great.
We're back in the hardship game. The Grizz are signing Christian Coloco to a 10-day contract via the hardship exception. That's according to Shams Charania. I have no strong opinion about Christian Coloco as a backup NBA player, but I hate that he's a Grizzly. But for only for this reason. I hate that we have to sign a Christian Coloco 3 days before Christmas.
Yeah.
3 days before Christmas, we're supposed to be celebrating a victory over the lowly Wizards, get ready to take our shot at the champs, and talking about a roster that's increasingly getting healthier.
Yes.
Instead, we're talking about a Christian Coloco. Why are we talking about Christian Coloco?
Because we lost another player. I feel so bad for Brandon Clark too, man. Like, obviously, you mentioned it's a calf strain. He's gonna miss time.
Of course,
he just
you
is.
just don't
when
even
it's a calf strain, you're missing time. That's just is what it is.
When somebody says calf anything connected to a basketball player right now, you're just gonna have to go over here for a little while.
That's right. And you saw it like in the game. Like, he pulled up and he knew instantly he had to come off. Like, it sucks. It sucks.
Stinks, and I don't have an explanation for it. I saw somebody yesterday, a non-Grizzlies fan on Twitter last night, retweet at Grizzlies PR the latest status report, which is like, better than the previous status report, but still like long. There's a lot of names on it.
Yep.
8 players out for tonight. And this person said NBA fans would do themselves a favor if they would follow this account or check in with the Grizzlies status report before every game because it make you feel better about your own team.
About your team.
Like you think you're an NBA fan going through it. You have no idea what it's like to actually be injured always deep into the roster. Like, I don't know why it's always like this, but it is insane that it is always like this. It is insane that Shams has to tweet on a Monday morning, the Grizzlies with a status report featuring 8 players out are signing Christian Coloco. I thought I was done talking about him as soon as I got done with that draft coverage he was in.
Yeah, it's just tough, man. I mean, they're going to be up against it tonight. I know they're bringing Gigi and Jemai Meshack were with the Hustle because they were having their showcase the other night, and so they're bringing them back up. So they'll have like more bodies, but it's a tough spot again. It's a tough spot that you find yourself in again.
Oh, and now like tonight, quite literally, like the toughest spot.
That is why that loss hurts so much more. Yeah. Because any other game following up that game, you're like, all right, well, we had been playing well before that. But it's just, how can you talk yourself into getting a win on the road at Oklahoma City when they don't lose to anybody?
It's not quite like this, but you'll get the point. Because the NBA season's long, and you can lose one you're not supposed to lose, but then go win one you're not supposed to win, and the stuff can balance out over a week or 2 weeks or the entire season. So I recognize when we talk about these sometimes it can be a little caught up in the moment type of stuff.
Yeah.
But what's the old story? Pushing the boulder up the mountain. You get almost to the top and then it just and you got to do it again. Mm. They were 4-11. And at that point, we said this last week, it's not crystal clear they'll ever get back to 500. You don't know the availability of Ja Morant. Ever. Mm. The Zach Edey thing's been in and out and concerning. 4-11, down 4 point guards. Man, are they even going to get back to 500? Should we start watching more Darren Peterson film? And then you fast forward to Friday, and it's like, okay, we're here. I didn't know I thought it was going to be hard to get here, but we're here. I didn't even know we'd get here, but we're here. And now to get to 500, I know 500 is just an arbitrary, it's just a number. It's not, it's really one game different than below 500, but it's still meaningful in the sense that this is the way we talk about things. It's like, all right, I didn't know if we'd get here, but we're here. And now you just got to beat the lowly Wizards. And then you don't. So you're not 500. You're not even one game below 500 anymore, 2. And you go to Oklahoma City. So you're probably 3 by the time you go to bed tonight. You should have gone to bed Saturday night at 500. Now you probably go to bed Monday night, 3 games below 500. That's a missed opportunity. Mm. It's not something that can't be made up for. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it is something. It is something that happened, and it was disappointing because by all accounts, it was a nice crowd and the vibes were good. It
was, man. It just, and Vernon got mad at me because he says that, like, I get caught up in the moment a little bit, and when they came back and tied the game, I looked at him and go, well, this is over. And it makes him so mad. And the Grizzlies did get the lead back, but you just, as shorthanded as they were with Jaren out, like, it was like, oh, I don't feel good about it.
Yeah. And if you didn't feel good in that moment,
right,
good luck feeling good about tonight. But either way, 8:30 tip on Peacock. We'll turn it on and hope for the best.
Okay.
Michael Eaves is up next.
The Grizzlies are the one thing everyone in the family can agree on. So join us every Sunday this season for Sunday Family Fun Days. It's a steal at just $35 and includes a ticket to the game, a $10 food voucher, post-game free throws on the court, and a meet and greet with mascot Grizz. Space is limited, so grab your tickets now for this unique experience your family won't soon forget. Go to grizzlies.com/Sunday and have a fun day.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Memphis. Monday Night Raw returns with non-stop action, unmatched energy, and the superstars you love.
We don't get mad, we get even. We don't go home till we beat them. This is our time, we ain't leaving. Give me the crown undefeated.
Witness the moments you'll never forget. Monday Night Raw, Memphis. Monday, February 16th. Tickets and ringsider packages on sale next Friday.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Orso South. We're inside the Built Ford Tough studio, and on Mondays in the second segment, I'm joined by Michael Eaves, who, of course, among other things, hosts Sports Center for ESPN. He joins me now. Michael Eaves, it's GP. How you doing on this Monday?
I'm good, man. Monday before Christmas, and I don't have shit to buy, so I'm good.
Hey, anytime you can get like the week of Christmas and you're not stressed, like we had a little Christmas party for my little guy's baseball team yesterday, and one of the dads like pulled me aside, and he was like, hey, have you got all your shopping done? And I was like, yeah, I think so. And he was like, man, I ain't got nothing done yet. And he was like he was genuinely like stressed out. And I was
I'm sure he was.
Yeah. You gotta be smarter about it. I've learned this lesson over a long period of time, but I'm better about it now. Hey, let me ask you about basketball before we get to football, because the Grizzlies are in Oklahoma City tonight. The Thunder are now sitting here 25-3, clearly best record in the NBA, clearly best team in the NBA. Do we have, and also like projected to maybe get a top 3 pick in the 2026 NBA draft, where they could add theoretically a Darren Peterson, Cameron Boozer, or AJ Devonsa? This is getting outrageous. How good is it what they're doing in OKC right now?
I think it's one of the more unique combinations we've seen in the league in quite some time. Not just in terms of what they're doing on the court, the blend of players they have, the blend of talent, and how that cohesion works in such a successful way. I mean, we've seen dynasties before, so we've seen that type of run, although they're not a dynasty yet, don't get me wrong, but the way those pieces come together that have been so successful for them, we've seen that before. But what we haven't seen is that combination plus the combination of assets that the front office has compiled the way that Sam Presti has done it over the last couple of years. Like, usually you have to give up something, Gary, to get something long-term, and usually draft picks, talent can't sign everybody, but whatever the formula is that Sam Presti's put together, it is clearly working out in a way that I believe may be unprecedented in the league, that you can have a team this good and still with the ability to go get other things if needed and to acquire them, as you said, potentially next year with a top 3 potential draft pick. Like, we haven't seen that combination in the league, at least since I've been covering the NBA.
And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, once again, having a terrific season after last season, MVP, scoring champ, and the championship. I heard
they have all the things, Gary. They have all the things.
Everything.
Right? They've got a top 5 player. They get the best team in the league, and they've got more assets than some lottery teams have in terms of what they can do. We haven't seen a team have all those things.
They are quite literally the franchise best set up to present a package to Milwaukee for Giannis if they wanted to, and probably smartly just like, now we're good. Like, when you don't need Giannis Antetokounmpo in his prime, that's crazy.
Right, exactly. But that tells you how good all those other pieces are collectively, led by a guy who is first team All NBA. So you have your Giannis.
Yes.
So do you really need another one if you're OKC? What history has shown them in a short period of time is the answer is no. It's better to have more flexibility, and not just within your roster currently in terms of guys that can come and go. Because look, they got off to that great start, and Jalen Williams wasn't even there for like the first 20 games or whatever it was, right? So they still have great pieces, but if they need something, God forbid if somebody goes down to a devastating injury, they can go get something if they need to. If not, they got something for the future again.
So I saw a former NBA player. I can't remember which one because I think they all have podcasts now. Every former NBA player is now on a podcast.
Yes. Seriously.
I'm not hating. I'm sure they're looking at me like, hey, buddy, why you got a podcast? So I get it.
Right.
But the player said if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was in a bigger market and or American, he'd be the face of the NBA undeniably. But those things hold him back. Do you have any sense for whether that's true or not?
I completely disagree.
Okay.
Because it's 2015 and you can live anywhere and be anywhere in the world. Like it's just not that old school mentality of small market versus big market. You don't have to go to New York or LA to become a superstar in this country. You really don't. And we don't care if you're from this country or not. If you were that exceptional, we can make you a star. I think more of it is about just SGA's own personality. Right. He's just not a guy who necessarily craves that type of attention or puts himself always in those positions to get it. I mean, like, his fashion is cool, and he'll go to Paris to Fashion Week in New York, and he'll do all that kind of stuff, but he's not a guy who's going to say a lot of things that grab headlines. That's just who he is, but it has nothing to do about his star potential. Like if he wins another championship and another MVP and a finals MVP, he can become the face of the league. The problem with becoming a face of the league right now is that you've had two guys for the course of 15 years that have been exceptional, and that is LeBron James and Steph Curry. So just getting that mantle from any of those guys, whether you're American or not, is going to be hard to do.
Let's switch to college football. The first round of the college football playoff got completed this weekend. It feels like more people are talking about the format and the formulas than they are the actual games. Some are suggesting that this is evidence that you can't let the James Madisons and the Tulanes get in there with the big boys. Others' counterpoint is this is the way we do postseason tournaments. There has to have an access point. The first round of the NCAA tournament in men's basketball is often filled with blowouts, and we don't mind that, so why would you mind this? Where are you at on this big conversation that's happening?
The format is fine.
Yep.
It's absolutely fine. The only people griping are from the bigger conferences who want all the money. Yep. That's all that is. Like, you've got to give these other schools a chance to earn revenue so they can compete, not just with the big boys, in the playoff itself, but just season to season with their normal competition. There's nothing wrong with that. And any team from the Big Ten or the SEC or the Big 12 that would come in as those 11 and 12 seeds anyway, they're not going to win the championship either.
Right.
So all they want is more money for their respective conferences. These schools are fine. And here's the deal. We've seen Power 4 schools and or Notre Dame get into playoffs and get rocked and get blown out. It has nothing to do with your merit to be in the tournament based on the parameters of how that tournament is set up. Okay, so leave that argument alone just because who wins, who loses, or maybe the difference in the score in those respective games. Leave it alone. Look, greed is one thing, but just wanting to have all the things, that takes it to another level. There's nothing wrong with Tulane and James Madison, these schools getting in. They're not going to win the championship, sure, but some of these other schools, these bigger conferences, aren't going to win it either.
I don't mean to take it down a weird path, but it feels like what's happening in college football right now, all of these conversations are pretty closely aligned with a lot of conversations we have nationally about all things outside of sports now, where everybody.
It's not weird, Gary. Yeah. It's absolutely parallel.
Yeah.
It's absolutely parallel. That same mentality that we see in corporate America and Wall Street now runs college football. There's no question about it. And it has for a while. It's just coming more to the forefront because we're just more aware of the money, and there's becoming more money involved with the television contracts and streaming and things of that nature. And when that happens, that greed comes out real quick.
And I'm not trying to take money out of any conference's account. Or any, I'm not anti-rich people, but I do feel like, broadly speaking, in college athletics in much bigger way in America, we're going to look back someday, or people, that survive all this stuff are going to look back someday and ask a very basic question. If some people would have had a little less, wouldn't have been a lot better. And I think that we're probably going to nod, yeah, probably so.
How much is enough?
Yeah. Yeah.
How much is enough for anything? How much is enough? Like, it doesn't make sense, some of the money that is accumulated in our society right now by certain sects of people, or in this particular situation, certain conferences in athletics, right? Oh, well, it's America, capitalism, blah, 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 blah. Sure, but there are certain rules in place that allow those in power to accumulate more resources and assets because of the structure than those below them who can't get it. And then when those below them try to get a piece of it, guess who complains about it? Those at the top. So it's an exact parallel to our society, what we're seeing in major college football right now.
And I just take this right back to the SEC. Like, I know that league is wealthier than it's ever been, and the coaches are making more money than they've ever made, and the schools got nicer facilities than they've ever had. But are people happier? I don't know. At LSU, they're firing a coach and scrambling to find their next one. And at Auburn, they were firing their coach because they were upset. And at Arkansas, they were firing their coach because they're upset. Like, when you get all of these big brands in one league, yeah, you're richer, you're wealthier, but somebody's got to lose. And the losers are miserable. The losers, you have more money than you ever had, but you also just won 3 league games. You're not happy. Even you're rich, but you ain't happy.
Right. So again, it's really hard to have all the things, but also why does any one thing deserve all the things?
I agree. Let's go to the NFL, where I think the moment of the weekend, if it wasn't Anthony Joshua's right to Jake Paul's jaw, was Caleb Williams to DJ Moore. Like, I have no emotional investment in that at all. I'm not a Bears fan. I don't have a favorite NFL team. I verbally got loud in my home when that ball that was an awesome sports moment for a fan base that hasn't had many of those throughout their lives. Just what'd you make of just that scene?
Yeah, I'm with you because I don't have any professional allegiances whatsoever, so I can watch these games just for pure entertainment value without having an emotional investment in the outcome. And how could you not be excited about that? Especially because of the fact that they had to score at the end of regulation just to tie the game, and then you make that throw to win it, and all of the things involved because of the team you're playing, that there's playoff implications in play. It had all the necessary drama you would want as a sports fan, and it's one of the best plays we saw all year. And Caleb Williams just further solidified himself as being part of a group of quarterbacks on the ascent to be elite in the NFL, and also gave legitimacy to the Bears in terms of what they can accomplish once they get to the playoffs. It was a tremendous moment, and also because it was singular in terms of there weren't other games going on. It got all the attention. But even last night on SportsCenter, on Sundays with Tim Hasselbeck, we do this quarterback room. Well, he went all the way back to that game because he thought Caleb Williams deserved some more attention that he got over the weekend based on how he performed in that game. And that's just a further proof that Caleb Williams is legit, and so are the Bears when it gets to the playoffs.
And it's been interesting to watch because he's now like the face of everything. Like, he's a star in an important franchise. And it seems like not too long ago, all I heard was like things about his fingernails. Like, is there a lesson in there at all? Like, the little stuff that some people get caught up on probably doesn't matter as much as whether the guy can make that throw or not.
100%. First and foremost, we all need to stop projecting.
Yes.
We need to stop projecting our feelings and our thoughts onto other people in terms of how they should perform, how they should look, how they should talk. Like, we do that way too much in society, especially when what they're doing is harmless to anyone else. That's number one. Number two, it's also a good lesson in having some patience, because there were people griping last year that maybe Caleb Williams wasn't that guy, right? Because these teams draft these quarterbacks so high because they have to. You have to have a franchise quarterback. They throw them to the wolves almost immediately. And if you don't swim right out the jump today, you're almost labeled a bust. But Peyton Manning, Troy Aikman, those guys were given way more grace when they first got into the league than a lot of these quarterbacks get now. And it kind of goes back to your other conversation about, what's happening in college football. There's just so little patience right now in the NFL in terms of teams trying to win and win fast and get returns on their investment, that they don't allow some of these players to develop, whether the quarterbacks or any other position. But this is a good lesson. It takes time to go from trash, which the Bears were, to a team that can get to the playoffs and maybe be a perennial playoff contender. It doesn't happen overnight, so we need to stop expecting rookie quarterbacks to be the catalyst for that to happen overnight.
Last thing before I get you out of here, there was a weird moment in the Steelers game yesterday where the CBS cameras caught DK Metcalf first having an interaction with the fan and then appearing to throw some sort of punch in the direction of the fan. I don't know that we know exactly what happened, but the fan has reportedly explained that he called DK Metcalf by his full name, and DK took offense to that. Just to the extent that you know about it, what'd you make of what you saw?
Well, Gary, I'm not sure how many different angles of this incident you've seen, but there was no punch thrown.
Okay.
Not that I want to defend DK Metcalf for having an interaction with the fan, but what he did was he literally went up to the railing and grabbed the fan by the shirt and then brought him down a little bit towards him, had some type of conversation, and then like kind of shoved him away. Yeah. So it looked, to a certain angle, looks like a punch, but that's not what happened. Even the fan himself said he grabbed my shirt and ripped it. He never said he punched him. So I want to make that perfectly clear. But again, like if you are so triggered by someone calling you by your government name, maybe you need to go to therapy. All due respect. Now, that's not to say that the fan may have said something else that he wasn't willing to reveal to a reporter from the Detroit Free Press. So we don't know the full story. But either way, look, fans, they overstep boundaries all the time now. Yeah. And I understand players having an emotional reaction to it. But if they do something that you find offensive that crosses the line, you think, tell security, have them deal with it, because you going over there helps no one, especially you, because here's the deal. DK Metcalf will be disciplined. Whether he gets suspended for a game or fined, this is going to cost him money. Yeah. And hopefully when he looks back at it, he'll be like, yeah, that was a waste. I shouldn't have done that. There's a better way to handle it, even though fans oftentimes are crossing boundaries out here.
And I agree completely. Like DK, it almost doesn't matter what the fan says. You just can't put your hands on a fan like that. That's just sort of understood. And I agree. Like if that's going to be the thing that makes you cross that line, somebody simply saying, as you put it, your government name, like perhaps you need therapy. On the other hand, when I heard what the fan allegedly did, I was like, the thing that popped in my head was when people, like maybe my neighbor, would go, so are you going to vote for Barack Hussein Obama? And I'm like, do you know how weird that sounds when you
it's purposeful. There's no question it's purposeful.
It's purposeful. Why are you doing that? Normal people think it's weird when you go out of your way to do that. And that's what I thought with that fan. Like, hey, he shouldn't have put his hands on you, but also, what are you doing? Like, why? What are you doing?
Well, here's what it is. And this is other part of his quote that he gave to the Detroit Free Press. He just says, I just want the Lions to win, baby. So he really thought that he could get into the head of DK Metcalf by calling him his government name so his team could win. That's the mentality. The fans think they can impact what happens on the field by things they say to the players, which is just asinine to me. And also, holy self-importance, Batman. That's not how it rolls. And oh, by the way, the Lions lost. So way to go, Ryan Kennedy.
What a weekend. Michael Eaves, it's always good to see you. I appreciate you being here. Have you a Merry Christmas, and I'll talk to you when we get back.
All right, man. Sounds good.
Thanks, brother. I'll see you. That's Michael Eaves from ESPN. Yeah, the DK Metcalf thing was weird. We had a couple of these this weekend where it was things involving people on the field or on the court and people off the field or off the court. The DK Metcalf situation in Detroit. And then, do you see the Ed Cooley, Georgetown?
Oh, my God. I did.
So Georgetown, loses at, a game. They got a shot at the buzzer. They don't get it, whatever. And Ed, who's the best, if you knew Ed Cooley, you'd be like, that's the best guy. He's funny and he's the best. But he lost his mind. Buzzer sounds game over. You lost again. I think they've lost 4 of their past 7. This is year 3 for him. It's not going well. He takes a water bottle and just turns around and flings it into the crowd like crazy. And it hits a kid. And it happened to be it was a woman holding a baby, a little boy, and there was the family members of one of the Georgetown players. So Ed knows them. And it could have been bad. It hit the kid here as opposed to here. But I mean, if there's a visual connected to you as a basketball coach, throwing a water bottle into the stands and busting a little kid's nose, that's not good.
Probably not, yeah.
He got suspended for 1 game.
Glad that baby's okay.
Glad that baby's okay, too.
The DK thing, obviously you can't do that. But sometimes I wonder if fans do deserve to get punched. I'm just going to be honest with you. Some people...
Two things can be true at the same time. You can't do it.
Yeah, you can't do it.
But this guy deserves it.
Yeah. because to what Eaves was saying, like sometimes these folks, like it is a bit of like, who do you think you are, man?
Yeah.
Like I know you paid money, but
I see it.
Because you paid all this money for this expensive ticket, that does not give you the right to like act that kind of way.
This is one of my pet peeves that it also doubles as like old man yelling at the clouds type of thing.
Yeah.
I am uncomfortable watching interactions sometimes between fans and basketball players. Often because it crosses a line, and there is often a racial dynamic to it. A lot of times what you have, it's a white dude yelling at a black dude. And it gets personal and it gets weird. And you're exactly right. It is things you would never say to this person outside of this space.
Right. It's like you feel like there's a barrier that you have this kind of protection, you know?
Yeah, because the NBA has set it up where you kind of do.
Right.
Like, they ain't nothing to stop nobody if Ron Artest wants to take a swing at you, but he knows, every player knows that if you do that, it might be game over for you. You cost yourself lots of money, and perhaps an entire career. And fans have gotten real comfortable with that. And it just never escapes me that when I'm watching these people yell at these other people, because that's what it is. It's people yelling at people. I know you normalize it by saying, it's just a basketball game and it's fans and this is what you do. But it's humans yelling at humans. It's weird when it gets personal and crosses lines.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to say I've never, because I was young at once. I probably did things when I was 18 that I wouldn't do at this age.
We've all been there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But as I've aged, I could be the biggest Mets fan in the world, and Shohei Ohtani could hit 3 home runs against them, and I could hate that guy and be sitting right next to the Dodgers dugout. And the idea that I would be heckling him or yelling at him or saying crazy things to him, it feels wrong. Because if I saw this person in a restaurant, you wouldn't talk to them like that. If you saw them on the street, you wouldn't talk to them like that. But somehow you bought the seats, and now you can tell Russell Westbrook he sucks and he's a loser and doesn't deserve to even be playing basketball anymore. And and here's Russell Westbrook's kids, right? Like, that's the other thing. Russell Westbrook said when he was with the Lakers, he stopped. His family stopped going to the games. And he explained, I don't want my kids hearing strangers talk about their father that way. Think about that for a second. You're not really, most of us don't live in a world where we ever hear people just shit talk our dads.
Sure.
Every day.
That's true.
Right? But suddenly Russell Westbrook wants to take his son to a basketball game, and the cost of that is your son's going to hear people call you Westbrick over and over again. And I know that's elementary school stuff, but the interactions can sometimes get weird. So 2 things could be true at the same time. You can't cross the line like DK Metcalf did, but perhaps not this fan specifically, but other fans all the time would deserve whatever they got if they got it. They just don't get it because most people know you cannot cross that line and put your hands on somebody. But have I seen fans absolutely deserve it? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, just go in any visiting arena and listen to the stuff LeBron James hears as he's walking in and out. Some of it is king, sure, but some of it's not. And you just wouldn't say that. LeBron James is like a 6'9", very strong man. You wouldn't say this to him on the street, but you'll say it to him when you know there's nothing he can do about it. I just think that's weak. I don't do that. I wouldn't let my kids do it. If I were at a game with my kids and even my 11-year-old was like, Giannis sucks, I'd be like, hey, we're not doing that. I just don't want to talk about him.
I think saying someone sucks is fine.
I guess.
That's fine.
It's fine. I realize I'm on the I realize I'm on the but like take it and escalate it.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with that. And so DK Metcalf will get fined, suspended, whatever happens, happens, and he'll deserve it because he did something you cannot do. But fans almost every night in an arena somewhere, probably every night in an arena somewhere, also do something that you should not do. I guess you can, but you shouldn't. And I'm not surprised when every once in a while an athlete loses his cool and reacts in a way that he probably very quickly regrets. Anyway, we come back. We'll turn our attention to Penny Hardaway's. No, God. I was hoping for something good.
What a weekend.
Is there anything good to talk about?
Saturday was horrible.
If you have anything good to talk about, like that could cheer us up, I feel like we're just bitching a lot today.
Yeah, you know, it's a big week, Christmas.
Yeah, I'd like to be happy.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna.
How? Do you know how you're gonna do that?
I'm not gonna let my favorite teams rip me of my joy this week.
Okay. Okay. I'll try that. I guess I'll try that.
Yeah.
But it's been tough. My alma mater stinks at football and basketball all of a sudden. The Grizzlies lost to the Wizards. The Mets lost Edwin Diaz and Pete Alonso and everybody.
Hey, the Titans won.
Yeah, but even for you, is that good?
So, okay, quickly, because I know we're not going to talk about it in 5 things. I've completely flipped on this. Yesterday, I came at peace. This is the week.
You
want
to have good emotions and give me the 5th pick instead of the 2nd. I don't care.
I want to know, I want Cam to have the confidence that he can be a part of, a winning team going forward.
If the byproduct of winning is it suggests you've got your quarterback, then you feel good about that.
Yes, he has looked really good lately, and he's winning some games lately, or at least 2. I'm glad that he's getting the good vibes towards the end of this season.
Well, I'm glad you're happy. Well, I'm glad that made you happy.
And we have our quarterback, so it's like you want the number 1 pick because you want your franchise-changing quarterback, right? Well, ideally, we have that guy. So does it really matter as much if you're picking, 3 or 5? I don't know.
I actually think that makes sense to me. If when this whole season is over, there's 2 things there's 2 options. I give you these options. Multiple choice. You pick. You're a Titans fan. You pick. Mm-hmm. You have the worst record in the NFL, which means you get the number 1 pick. But you got real questions about Cam Ward.
Right.
All right. That's option A. You got real questions about Cam Ward, but you get the number 1 pick again. Option B, you finish with the 5th worst record in the NFL. Mm-hmm. You got the 5th pick instead of the 1st. That's obviously not as good. But you're done with the questions about Cam Ward. You feel pretty confident after what you've seen that you found your quarterback of the future.
And that's how I felt yesterday. I know the Chiefs are done and they don't care anymore.
So you want option B?
Yes, because yesterday I really did feel it was like an epiphany. It was like because obviously I'm going in thinking, well, I want to lose. I want the number 1 pick. But watching that yesterday, I was like, man, I'm glad he got that moment because he's playing well. He's making some crazy throws, and I feel like that the confidence is the most important thing for him, and I feel like he's the guy. I feel good about him now.
Because if you get the number 1 pick, it might mean that you missed on your last number 1 pick.
Right.
But if you hit on your last number 1 pick, that might be the thing that prevents you from getting the next number 1 pick. So option B.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you found some happiness and joy this weekend.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right. We come back. Wasn't good for Penny Hardaway's Tigers. They went down to Starkville and they lost again. And David Cobb, our friend, who's my colleague over at CBS Sports, he was handling some basketball content over for the website this weekend. And you know what he wrote?
What?
Memphis's at-large hopes are done. Benedict's December 22nd.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were going to say things like that on December 22nd.
I didn't either.
Actually, I did. I think we kind of.
I think you predicted it, probably.
I think we did actually expect to be in this position. But it doesn't mean it doesn't suck to be here, all right? We did expect to be here, but it stinks to be here. We'll dive into it next. Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South.
Southland Casino Hotel is helping you navigate to Santa. Win your share of over $550,000 in free play and a brand new Lincoln. Here Comes Santa takes flight on Saturday, November 1st, when you can begin earning entries. And don't forget the grand finale drawings on Saturday, November 29th and Saturday, December 27th to win a share of over $40,000 in free play or a brand new Lincoln. Win big during Here Comes Santa, only at Southland Casino Hotel.
It's gonna be food.
Oh, Jaron!
Support your Grizzlies by voting for them to the 2026 All-Star Game.
Oh, eating with the big swat. On the deck, floats it up, off the glass and in! Cedric Power. Yes, sir!
Vote now by going to Grizzlies.com/All-Star.
Kroger, shoppers and Grizz fans. One exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Jeff Dunham, Artificial Intelligence, his all-new tour.
Jeff Dunham. You're the other white meat. Lindsay, how can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it. I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at jeffdunham.com.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled. And Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
The University of Memphis Tigers went down to Starkville this weekend to play Mississippi State. It did not go well. They lost 71-66. That's 3 losses in a row. They are now 4-7. Overall, they are 1-6 in the first 2 quadrants, with a quadrant 4 loss also on the resume. And according to David Cobb, who handles the bracketology work now at CBSSports.com, their at-large hopes are over. Your thoughts, Bennett Doyle?
Yeah, I was setting up radio for the Grizzlies-Wizards game and watching it on my phone, and it was a competitive game for most of the game. I thought they were set up to be able to win it, but they just had some brutal turnovers down the stretch that ended any chance of that. My thoughts are it's pretty much the same before the game. Is they're just going to have to be really good in conference and get one of those buys for the conference tournament and hope they can go win the conference tournament, because as far as any NCAA tournament hopes go, I do think we're at the point now where who knows, because these things tend to change week by week. You never know how the conference is going to shake out. There's a chance it's better than people expect and they do get 2 teams instead of 1. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's just going to be a 1-bid league. Okay, so you're probably going to have to win the conference tournament to get in. You can't. You don't know that though. That conference could be better than what's a mid-major conference that's expected to get 2 teams. None. Okay.
That's over, Bennett.
Because the Power 5 has stolen all of them.
It's not over, but it's.
I get what you're saying.
It's moving that direction.
You for the past, maybe not last year, but I would say for the past 5 or so years before then, the AAC was probably a 2 to 3 bid league. Even
the AAC used to be a good league.
Well, but even after those teams left, I still think we still had a couple years where it was a 2-bid league.
Oh, yeah. Let me explain to you how it could be a 2-bid league this year.
Yeah.
Tulsa just wins every game. They're 11-1 right now.
Right.
Okay, so Tulsa just
wins every game, then loses in the conference tournament.
Okay,
and Memphis
that's
wins
how it can happen,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But even that's going to be hard.
Yeah.
First off, Tulsa's not going to win every game, but Tulsa now is the favorite to win the American.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real thing. Tulsa is is expected to finish with a better record in the league than Memphis.
Okay.
Tulsa 13-5, Memphis 12-6, according to KenPom. Ken Pom has now Memphis projected to enter the American tournament at 18-13 overall, 12-6 in the American. So is there a chance for Tulsa, theoretically, to build an at-large resume by just never losing or rarely losing? Yeah. But when it comes, I guess, but bet against it. But when it comes to Memphis, it's over. Like they can't, even if they, you ready for this? They could probably win out. Still wouldn't be good enough. Because they are in the 10th rated league in the country.
That's the problem.
It used to be arguably the 5th best, or at least the best outside of the power conferences. There was a time, like this was a real moment in time. Take the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, ACC, Pac-12. Set them over here. Now we're arguing about the Big East and the American. Who's best? It was a real conversation. You could make the argument it was the American, or you could make the argument how it could be the American. And that was a time when it was Louisville, Cincinnati, Memphis, UConn, Houston. You know, Central Florida is like a real program now. SMU is like they're not bad. These are all people, teams, programs, universities that were in a league with Memphis not too long ago, in this league with Memphis not too long ago. They're not there anymore. So Memphis is in the 10th highest rated league in the country right now. So just for some context, I looked this up last night. Last year, the Missouri Valley Conference was the 10th.
Okay.
And in that league, Bradley went 28-9. Oh, like Bradley's record on Selection Sunday was 26-8.
Okay.
They won 26 games. I'm talking about didn't sniff it. They weren't even a part of the conversation.
Because they lost in their conference tournament.
Because you can't build a resume in the 10th best league in the country.
Gotcha.
If you don't have the resume going into that, there's nothing you can do about it.
And there's just no, like you said, there's no opportunities.
No,
like
you can't. You're done. It's
obviously you get like the Tulsa game, you get the Utah State game, and everything, but it's not going to be enough because these middle of the pack SEC, Big Ten, ACC teams are going to have. Even though their record's going to look way worse than yours, I'm saying theoretically.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
It should. It won't matter.
Let's say Memphis runs through their conference. Their record's going to look worse than yours, but they're just going to have some better wins sprinkled in there.
Yeah, there's no path forward for Memphis to get in that conversation again. So it really will come down to winning the conference tournament, which stinks because you know what that does? It makes everything between now and the conference tournament irrelevant.
I hate it.
Irrelevant. It doesn't matter. They could win every game. I don't want to say it doesn't matter. Winning's better than losing, but they could win every game, lose every game. Conference tournament starts. Go win it. You can play in the NCAA tournament, lose it, and you don't. The stakes will be the same. All right. So it means by definition, everything that happens between now and then is kind of like irrelevant. So what's it going to look like tonight? Alabama State in town.
And it's just a reminder, like when we talk about this league and wanting to get out of it, it's not like, again, I'm not talking as much about football. I'm talking about this specific situation right here where because of what happened in your non-conference schedule, like these games are just not meaningful on a game-to-game basis because they don't do anything for you. Obviously, it does for your confidence. You want to win games, right? You want to see your team win. But as far as being able to build a resume, you have no chance.
This is my point. They can win tonight. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll spend a couple minutes on it. You can ask me, what does it change? You know what I'll say? Nothing. Then they can go open conference play with a victory over North Texas. Win it. We'll come in the next day. We'll talk about it. You can ask me, has anything changed? And I'll say no. And we could do that throughout this whole thing. And I'll say, Bennett, they're still going to have to win the conference tournament to make the NCAA tournament. And if they don't do that, then that'll be 8 years of Penny Hardaway with just one NCAA tournament win. And then those conversations go wherever they go. It just stinks.
It does, because again, like if they turn it around and like start looking really good and blasting all these teams,
it won't matter.
And we've seen Penny's teams get better as the season goes along, and it's just like, it's not gonna matter. Like you want them to be better and set themselves up to get into an NCAA tournament and win a conference tournament, but.
And I'm just worried now.
I hate it.
Like, bro, it's the Monday before Christmas, and the Grizzlies are on national television going head-to-head with you. Who's coming downtown for this? Like, really? Like, who is? I mean, you got to be like, it's the same people that go to the Penny Hardaway show.
I mean, well, you would hope that, like, people being back in town for the holidays, maybe they'll get a better crowd tonight.
I would hope. Yeah. I am hoping. Don't ever get it twisted. I am hopeful.
I am too.
Forever.
Right.
I want good things for that athletic department. I think the man running it is bright and sharp, and the man that I want running it. I hope that he hired the right football coach, but early signs are positive and encouraging. This basketball issue is a mess, and I don't wish that on anybody, because imagine taking over as the athletic director at a university and your most important coach is the most popular graduate of your university ever. And now you got a real problem on your hands, and it's one that we don't have to lie to each other. If his name weren't Penny Hardaway, this would be easy. But his name is Penny Hardaway, and it becomes more complicated. And I just hate that now we're going to live here for a few months with that building probably being way more empty than otherwise, because this is always the danger in scheduling the way that Penny scheduled. Yet, if it goes well, like last season, you set up to get a 5 seed in the NCAA tournament. But if it doesn't go well and you're 4-7 through your first 11, a fan base that, if it can still remember the good times at all, remembers never losing with John Calipari. Like, the last great times the fan base remembers is like, we never lost games. And now we lose more than we win. It doesn't matter if you can still go win your league. Your fans have already clocked out, because Memphis fans aren't used to watching a 4-7 basketball team filled with a bunch of players they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real problem. And, like, actually not fixable right now. Like, there's nothing you can do today to make this season better.
Right. I mean, I would trust that he's going. You know, I do. He's brought up a bunch the PJ Haggerty and Dane Danger thing, and how you waited on those guys and you shouldn't have in retrospect, which you shouldn't have. Like that obviously puts you behind as far as getting a team for this year. And so my hope, as far as that, he would be able to have more time and put together a better roster next year, which we have seen him do.
We'll see. There's a lot of different places to bang on Penny if you want. The end of the Wake Forest game is a perfect place.
Yeah.
If not him, his staff at least. Somebody, that can't happen. What happened there cannot happen. Not knowing that all you have to do is miss a free throw and you win the game. Even if you're not aware as the head coach, somebody on your staff's got to be aware and make you aware. That was a real failure somewhere in there. Mm. If you want to bang on him for that, bang on him for that. I did, I think. But I never do it enthusiastically. I don't. Perhaps it's because I've gotten older. Perhaps it's because, like, this guy is somebody that I used to cut yards so that I could make money to buy tickets to go watch him play. Like, I like Penny Hardaway on a personal level. Like, one of the cooler things about my life is that my career has allowed me to meet people that I once looked up to. Mm. Literally, posters on my wall, I have gotten an opportunity to meet a lot of those people and, like, you know, get to know them a little bit. And I don't like the feeling that I have when we have these conversations or when I see it. And I saw Demarius in the chat say he feels bad for Penny. And I swear, I shared this with Jessica earlier. I do too on some level. It doesn't mean he's not without fault, and it doesn't mean things shouldn't be better. And it doesn't mean that if they're not, there needs to be something done about it. Like, this is big boy stuff. The reason they moved Tubby Smith when they did is because it got unsustainable. You can't have that few people in the building for a basketball program that needs to matter as much as it needs to matter. And now here we are again in a very similar situation. So you talk about it because it's the job, but it's not fun. It's not fun. And I also feel badly for Penny. Again, it's not that he's without fault. And if you're looking for the biggest reason things have gone the way they've gone, in good times, positively, and in bad times, negatively, he's always the biggest reason. You're the head coach. You're in charge of everything. It always falls on you. He knows that. But I do feel bad for him because there is nothing about this job that is the same today as when he took it.
Right. It has changed. I would argue that the sport has changed more in his era of being the coach here than anybody else ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, you could argue, I guess, go back to when we started or the different universities started breaking racial barriers.
Sure.
Like that was a big change.
Of course. Yes.
Obviously. But yeah, the whole sport has been turned upside down. His own league has been turned upside down. Let me look this up because I don't know it off the top of my head. But when Penny Hardaway, in year one at Memphis, the American Athletic Conference was the 6th best league in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Big 12, Big 10, ACC, Southeastern Conference, Big East, then the American, then the Pac-12. Okay? The American that year had Houston. Got a 3 seed in the tournament. Cincinnati got a 7 seed in the tournament. USF got a 9 seed in the tournament. Temple got an 11 seed in the tournament.
Yeah.
In Penny Hardaway's first year, he was in a league with Houston, Cincinnati, UCF, UConn.
Yep.
All right? And it rated 6th, so you could take losses, build at-large resumes outside your league, inside your league. That's where he was. Houston's gone. Cincinnati's gone. UCF is gone. UConn is gone. SMU is gone. You've gone from the 6th best league to the 10th.
Temple's fallen off as a basketball power, yeah.
So now you're in the 10th best league, 6th best league, where you used to be. Now you're in the 10th. You can get multi-bids out of the 6th. I just showed you how they did. You can't get it out of the 10th. I just show you how they won't. So combine that with NIL, revenue sharing, and the further growing divide in the haves and have-nots. There's a trickle down to all of this stuff that I don't think people connect every time they talk about it. It's very easy to just use platitudes like, there's a big gap between the haves and have-nots and it's growing. But like to actually understand how and why it's happening, I think is sometimes important. It's not just that suddenly SEC schools have more money than Memphis, because that's always been true.
Mm-hmm.
It's that the SEC, the ACC, these leagues, they have taken the things that helped make Memphis be Memphis for so long, which is other comparable programs, other fan bases that care, other universities that care. They care at Houston. They didn't always, but Kelvin made them again. They care at Cincinnati, regardless of the coach. They cared at UConn, forever and always. Now you're in a league where nobody cares. And how did you get here? By the big leagues taking the schools that they want and leaving you behind with the schools that they don't. So now you start to look more like the schools that don't care, even though you do. This is what we got to talking about last year when the whole Pac-12 thing. You're in a bad neighborhood right now, the worst neighborhood you've ever been in. And the conference affiliation has never impacted Memphis basketball until now. But now it is, undeniably. You can't keep your best player. He went to the Big 12. And that had never happened. No All-American had ever left the University of Memphis for another school. Never happened. If a All-American left Memphis before the eligibility expired, it was to go to the NBA. Never for another school. Never. It happened to P.J. Haggerty. It happened. That's a direct byproduct of, in some ways, the league. Because, and we'll get to this one in a minute, I don't think it's a coincidence. And I know people can explain every one of these things away as individual decisions, but I don't think it's a coincidence. The 3 either biggest or most successful programs on that campus, men's basketball, football, women's soccer, and arguably the most important player that could be returning for the following season for each of those programs jumped into the transfer portal at the end of the most recent season. All right? That's not good. And if you look at recruiting rankings, you can see where this is going. It used to be there was a Power 4 and then a divide. Now it's just the SEC and the Big 10 and a divide. All the best recruiting classes belong in those 2 leagues. So it's not just that they're separating from the American and the Sun Belt and all of that. They're separating from the Big 12 and the ACC as well. The rich are getting way richer, and they're damaging everything that's not them. And it has now had a direct impact on the University of Memphis. I believe that, at least. And so circling back to Penny, this is tough, man. When he took the job, you got all of the stuff that comes with Memphis basketball, comparable programs in your league, and the relationships to recruit at the highest level because you've had some of the best high school prospects in the country. And you weren't always going to have those relationships because you were going to age out of that. But there was always going to be you were always going to be Penny Hardaway. You were supposed to be in a league with comparable programs that had never negatively impacted Memphis basketball before. And throughout history, whether it's John Calipari, Dana Kirk, Larry Finch, Josh Pastner, every coach at Memphis has been able to recruit high-level players. Mm-hmm. So that's the job he took. It is not the job anymore. Go look at that roster. That is not the job anymore. It's still the best job in the American by far, but it's a way worse job than it used to be because everything around it is bad. Mm-hmm. And now you can't keep a PJ Haggerty on the court. You end up waiting longer than you probably should have. But that's a total Monday morning quarterback thing to bang on him about because I understood. Like I think, say you need to set a date at some point and just say, hey, either take it or we're giving it to somebody else. But I understand if quite clearly the best player you could get and one of the best players in America is telling you there's a chance I might come back. I can understand waiting when your backup options probably aren't even close to that. So there's a lot of places to bang on him. I don't know that that's a fair one, or at least it's not one that I'm going to do it. But this has gotten really complicated now, and we'll see where it goes tonight. Alabama State inside FedEx Forum. Tigers are big favorites, so they should improve to 5-7.
Number 2.
A.J. Hill's in the transfer portal. That's what I was hinting at. He, of course, is the heralded quarterback recruit who, when he committed to the Tigers, immediately became one of the biggest recruits in program history. But he barely played this year. I think appeared in 2 games. And now he is in the transfer portal. And I think the lesson here, because it's hard to keep players regardless of who they are throughout a coaching change. But it's especially difficult to keep players who don't play, particularly if they're not playing at the Memphis level. Like, do you know how you get an A.J. Hill to begin with? Somebody who turns down SEC, ACC offers? Like, reportedly had interest from Alabama and the likes.
Because they think they're going to play immediately.
That's right. That's how you get them.
Yeah. And then you go get Brendan Lewis.
Right. And I'm not blaming.
No.
Ryan Silverfield parlayed that into $35 million, so good for him. But it didn't go for the Memphis football program.
And it looked like it was going well for the first half of the season. Like, it looked like it was gonna be the right move. That's why you saw some people, and I never got on board with this, but I did see, like, when they started losing, especially after that UAB game when A.J. Hill actually played and looked pretty good, besides, like, the rough play at the end. It was like, should we go ahead and put one of these guys in for the rest of the season? A.J. Hill or Arrington made it in the thought process, of course, being because that'll make them want to come back.
Yeah.
Again,
it would always come. It's difficult with a coaching change. The people who brought you here are literally not here anymore.
Yeah, and I think it's probably more. I would probably say it's more connected to that. Like, you just see a lot of turnover when a coaching change happens on a football roster. So
yeah, I do, but I do think there's a lesson going forward there, and it's a lesson I've heard from basketball coaches for a couple years now. You do not buy high school players who can't help you immediately unless you sign them to multi-year contracts. Because you will. I had multiple SEC basketball coaches tell me 5 years ago I'd kill to take the 85th player in the high school class. I'd sign him without even seeing him. All right? Now I don't want him even if he wants me because I'm going to bring in 6 new players. These days it's probably 9, but let's call it 6 for the conversation. I'm probably going to bring in at least 2 high school players better than him. And then I'm probably going to bring in 3 transfers who are, if not more talented, 3 and 4 years older.
Yeah, more experience, yeah.
So he's not going to be physically comparable to them, won't be as talented as the other freshmen. How is he getting on the court? He's not. So I'm going to go pay him $300,000, bring him in, develop him, and then watch him take my money to my rival, and I just developed him for a year? No, let somebody else do that. I'm not interested. Now, other coaches have said, yeah, that's a little too rigid for me. I'm going to take shots here and there. But the thing most people agree on is if you can't play them, you're going to have a hard time keeping them. And at that point, it can be like a little pointless. And maybe that's the lesson here. There's a Memphis booster somewhere, I probably know, who like threw real money at a fund that threw real money at him. And then you get basically nothing out of it outside of some good recruiting headlines. And maybe that's worth something in the moment. But if I were a Memphis booster, or honestly, even the Memphis athletic director, I'd be real wondering, why are we paying money for high school players that we don't expect to play for us? Because we saw what happened with A.J. Hill. Mm-hmm. You can chalk this one up to the coaching change, and I'm sure some people will. But just broadly speaking, paying for freshmen that don't play, unless you've got them locked up for multiple years, this is the way it's often going to go. So again, not surprising that this happened, but also not ideal.
Number 3.
So the college football playoff got underway, and we talked about the format and all that stuff with Michael Eaves. I did want to focus specifically on what happened down in Oxford because I thought it was awesome. Ole Miss 41, Tulane 10 at Vaught Hemingway. Jumped on them pretty quick, cruised, and it just seemed like a big party and celebration of this Ole Miss team as opposed to really anything connected to the former coach. Dan Wolken was down there for Yahoo Sports, and he wrote a column basically saying this is not about, like, I'm here, and it doesn't feel like it's about Lane Kiffin at all. Like, there's some, funny signs here or there, but it really doesn't feel like this is, 100,000 people gathering in and around the Grove to all hate Lane Kiffin and try to win a football game. It's like, all right, that happened, but man, look at us. We're here. We're favored. We're in the playoff. Let's go. We got an awesome quarterback. Let's go. And if that is where they are, sort of moving on, then that's a neat place to be. Because the scene down there did sort of remind me, tell me if this makes sense to you. Remember how Memphis fans were very upset when John Calipari left? Mm-hmm. Very upset. And scrambled to find his replacement. And it was apples to oranges because at Ole Miss they had to find it quite literally in the middle of the season. And that factors into how you go about it. Probably plays a role in Pete Golding becoming the head coach. At Memphis, you get to do it after the season. But either way, they both landed with assistants who were on the staff who didn't project to be the next head coaches at these schools, period. I don't know if you saw the quotes from like Pete Golding's, maybe the guy who gave him his first college job. And it was, I don't know what I would think of it if I'm an Ole Miss fan. Tell me what you think of it. The quote was like, oh yeah, I've had a bunch of guys that I hired, young guys that I hired, and sometimes you could tell, like, oh, this is going to be a head coach. No, I didn't really see that with Pete. But, like, I'm happy for him. It was like, ooh, I don't know if I love that. But either way, he got a haircut, and he's the head coach now. If you remember the Memphis Madness, the first one for Josh Pastner, I wasn't here. I think I was at John Calipari's Big Blue Madness in Lexington. But I remember watching it on my computer or looking at it, and it was packed, jam-packed. And that felt like a fan base trying to show the world, their former coach, and perhaps themselves that we're bigger than this. Like, I've cared about this school long before I even knew who Lane Kiffin was. And I cared about it deeply while he was here, and I'm going to keep caring about it after he's gone. And why carry around a bunch of anger and disappointment when we are favored to win a playoff game right in front of us? Let's just enjoy this. It felt like that was the scene at FedEx Forum when Josh Pastner walked out. Let's prove to the world this is Memphis basketball, that we're bigger than John Calipari, that we can rally around our new coach. And it felt like that's what Ole Miss fans did on Saturday in a pretty dramatic way. And then I get to my little guy's little baseball party yesterday. And one of the mothers runs over and she's like, hey, did you hear about this thing? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but please fill me in. So there's a little fellow on the baseball team named Conrad. He's 9 years old, and his parents are Sydney and Callie. And, we've got to know him over the past couple of years because our kids play baseball together. Like, this is what you're going to find out when you get older. You're the people you actually are around more often than anybody else, they are either people who have similar hobbies to you. So in my case, it'd be like the people I play golf with. I see those people. And outside of them, the people you see more often than anybody else, it's your kids, friends, parents. Those become the people you're around all the time. And so we're around each other all the time. And so she's like, "Do you hear about this thing?" And I said, "I don't know about this thing." And she said, "Conrad wrote Trinidad Chambliss, the quarterback at Ole Miss, a letter, and Trinidad Chambliss reposted it on Instagram."
Oh, that's cool.
And then it became like a tagline connected to the game. I was just sort of ignorant to the whole thing. But like, I thought this was sweet. It's just obviously sweet. But I think there was something important there that I don't think Conrad even recognized, but seemed symbolic of exactly what was happening down in Oxford over the weekend. So just look at the letter there. This is little Conrad writing this. It's sweet. He says, "Dear Trinidad, good luck during the playoffs. I will definitely watch it. You are one of my favorite players. That's why I wrote this letter. I am going to tell you more about myself. I am Conrad. I am 9. Boy, not a girl. Want to make that clear. He's a boy, not a girl. So that's stated. I'm still really mad that Lane Kiffin is not here, but now that is all behind me and my 3rd grade. When you are in the playoffs, sling that thing. I hope you are safe and your family. Have a very Merry Christmas."
Nice.
So
well said.
I'm very mad that Lane Kiffin isn't here. This is a 9-year-old. I'm very mad that Lane Kiffin isn't here, but that's behind me now. And it felt like that is what Ole Miss at large tried to illustrate on Saturday. And then sling that thing became a like hashtag sling that thing.
It's pretty cool.
Right. So little fame for little Conrad, and Ole Miss is off to what amounts to the Elite Eight of the college football playoff with a game against Georgia down in
That'll be fun.
New Orleans. Yeah, I think they might go. I mean, I don't mean to be telling other families family plans. Perhaps I should keep that to myself. But yeah, like who knows where this goes from here, right? But if you're an Ole Miss football fan, you are going to get to either travel to New Orleans or watch on television your favorite football team play in what amounts to the Elite Eight of a college football tournament. You know what that means? You're 1 win away from the Final Four of a college football tournament. Like, we hang banners for that in basketball. So I know they're underdogs, and I know this, I know how it's supposed to go, but I really subscribe to this. Whatever happens in games, but give me the moments. Give me the big stages. Give me the things to look forward to. And then we'll watch it unfold. People say things all the time to me like, so do you even want the Mets to make the playoffs? Because they probably just get swept by the Dodgers. Yes, I want the Mets in the playoffs because I want to have that to look forward to. I want to experience it. And then I want to hope that maybe it'll go well. And if it doesn't, I'll figure that out. But I want to be in the game. And if you're Ole Miss, you're in the game. You lost your coach, but you're still in the game. So it's good times to be a Rebel, and we wish them luck in their next one.
Number 4.
Kenny Dillingham, our old friend, former Memphis assistant, is now the head coach at Arizona State. And he agreed to a new contract extension with ASU this weekend after reportedly flirting with the opening at Michigan. According to Kenny, an offer was never made, but yes, his representation was talking to Michigan. And it seems pretty clear that if he wanted to be the next Michigan coach, he probably could have done that, but he rejected them to stay at Arizona State. Now, there is nobody on the planet who would tell you the Arizona State job is better than the Michigan job or even comparable to the Michigan job. But this is an interesting thing. A guy had a hard decision to make. You know his background?
Well, he went to school there, right?
And he's from Phoenix.
There you go.
Grew up there, went to school there. This would be like if I were awesome at something and went to school, grew up in the Memphis area, went to school at Memphis, and then became the Memphis football coach. It's like, wow, this is wild. But this is his story. And so he just sort of decided, like, I can't walk away from home, and then use that moment to plea with Arizona State fans, basically saying, I'll let you hear it from him in a second, but the implication was more or less, guys, you have no idea what I just passed on, all right? I just passed on maybe a top 2 or 3 job, top 5 job in the country, certainly top 2 or 3 in the Big Ten, top 5 or 10 in the country, way up there. I just turned that down to stay at Arizona State, all right? I love this place because I'm from here, and I know you love this place because you're fans of here, but, like, let's be honest about what I just did. I just turned down one of the best jobs in the country to stay home, right? Lane Kiffin would never. All right? But that's what I did. But now we got to make this home like that home. He more or less said, I turned down some stuff to stay here, but now we got to get some stuff to get this right. Listen to Kenny Dillingham. I thought this was good.
We need to find one of these really rich people in this city to step up and stroke a check, and I'll do everything I can to make you the most famous person in the city, right? That's really what we need. We need one person. We live in Phoenix, Arizona. You're telling me there's not one person who could stroke a $20 million check right now? There is somebody out here who can. There's somebody who can. There's somebody. And, like, other people are going to sacrifice to be here. Somebody step up and be that dude to say, holy cow, what completely changed it? This person. There's somebody out there that's going to listen to this, that's going to get it forwarded it. If you know somebody who can do it, forward this message to somebody. Somebody can step up and completely take this place from the direction it's going to holy cow. And it's right here in the city.
That's where we're at. This is college athletics now.
Yeah, man.
So he says, others have sacrificed things. What he's really saying is I have sacrificed things. What he's really saying right there is I could have went to Michigan, and there are 50 people ready to stroke a $20 million check. All right? That is why Lane Kiffin went to LSU. He told you that. In revenue share, the money's the same. The difference in all of this comes down to NIL. What school's going to have it and what schools aren't. Now, what's crazy about this is that according to the rules, this shit that they keep talking about at LSU, everywhere else, it's not even supposed to be allowed. You're not supposed to be able to just take $20 million in NIL, stroke a check, and buy players. That's not supposed to be allowed anymore. But clearly, schools are not even planning to follow the rules.
Right.
Because Lane Kiffin quite literally changed jobs and told you they're going to do it this way. So, but this is where we're at. And the rules prohibit what Kenny is implying there, although the rules will change a million times and nobody even really understands the rules right now anyway. But this is quite literally where we were before July 1st. And I made this point over and over again. If somebody decided they wanted to make Ole Miss women's soccer the best thing in the world, they could just decide that's what I'm going to do with this and let it be known to every women's soccer player in college. If you come to Ole Miss, we'll pay you $1 million. You come to Ole Miss, we'll pay you $2 million. And you could overnight develop the best soccer roster in the sport. At Texas Tech, they did it in softball. They just had a rich person, a billionaire, said, we want to be good at softball. I mean, they're good at everything now because of this person. But they said, in addition to football and basketball, we'd like to be good at softball. So they went out and bought the best softball pitcher in the world and went to the College World Series. Just like that. It just bought it. This is the way it works now. And so every coach I know is thinking along those lines. I need to find one rich, super rich person who has an ego enough to where it will matter. It'll be worth it to them to spend $20 million for me to make them the most famous person in the city.
I feel like we could get that done here.
Well, I mean, for us, it's FedEx.
You know, they've already helped a ton. I'm talking about we got to find somebody else.
Well, it's not quite as easy as Kenny makes it sound because $20 million is a lot of money, and you can maybe get somebody to give that once, twice, but if it doesn't immediately provide results, they want you fired and they won't give it to you anymore.
True.
They'll give it to the next guy. So this isn't easy as anybody makes it sound. But every coach I know is looking like St. John's. How does St. John's A, get Rick Pitino, and B, then allow Rick Pitino to build a Big East champion within 2 years? He has a billionaire sitting right beside him, and Rick can walk into living rooms right now, at least this was the case last offseason, and say, what's the price? Yeah, we got it. So how much you think you cost? Okay, we got that. $3 million? Cool, we got that. Rick can pick up the phone. This guy can tell Rick, we got another $3 million in the budget. Rick could pick up the phone and say, hey, I need $4 million. And the guy would be like, okay, if that's what it takes to get it done, go get it done. Everybody's looking for one of those guys, Kenny Dillingham included. So we'll see if he's able to find one. But this is like the way college athletics is run now.
Yeah, man.
I was at a basketball practice in a power conference last year. And there was noticeably 3, 4, 5 men sitting over here in the facility just by themselves, keeping quiet. They clearly weren't staff members. They weren't basketball players. They weren't NBA scouts. It wasn't media. And at some point, the coach comes over, and I'm chit-chat with him. And I'm like, hey, just none of my business, but like, who are those guys? He goes, oh, you'll see me go over there and talk to them, several times throughout the practice. And they are the men and women who bought this team. And so now they have access to everything. This is part of it. I don't know why they like coming to basketball practices. It would bore me if I were them. But I think they like being here just to say they were here, just to tell their other rich buddies they were at practice today. And so they're here, and I go over and I'll smile with them. But I never thought I'd have people like that, just outsiders in my practices. But here we are, because without them, I can't have the team. So they sit front row every practice if they want to.
I would love to win. The Powerball's at $1.6 billion right now. I'd love to win it.
Yes,
I would become that person at the University of Memphis.
You would buy basketball players.
Hell yeah, buddy! Every practice, I'm there. Football, basketball. Yep, we're building the biggest rosters.
But there really is somebody in theory that would like to be known as the person who made, to borrow a bad phrase, make Memphis basketball great again, or make Arizona football great now. Mm-hmm. There's somebody who'd like to be the face of that. There is a guy who's the face of that at Texas Tech, a guy who's the face of that at St. John's, and Kenny Dillingham wants to find the guy who's the face of that at Arizona State. I wish him luck.
Number 5.
As expected, Anthony Joshua knocked out Jake Paul on Friday night down in Miami. Bad fight, wild knockout. Did you watch it? Did you stay up for it?
I did. I went and I didn't see like the whole thing, but I saw their fight. It was.
The fight itself was bad.
It was bad,
embarrassing, and I don't know where Jake Paul goes from here as a boxer, because it feels like now the gig's up. For the first time, you could put him in there with like a real person, and he looked like he didn't belong in the ring. He was just falling down all the time.
Yeah.
And like we were in the group text. And at some point, somebody was like, he looks exhausted. And I was like, he will not make it out of this round. It was like they were in between rounds. And I was like, he will not get through this round. And then popped him good. Broke his jaw. That rearranged some teeth. Kyra, show the knockout punch first, where Anthony Joshua connected. It looks just like Mike Tyson's punch out. That's Glass Joe.
Yeah, I mean, that looks like that probably resulted in a broken jaw.
Oh, buddy. He hit him good. He landed him good. Now, can we look at Jake Paul in the hospital? Uh-oh.
Dang, I haven't seen this picture yet.
Buddy?
I didn't know your face could get that big when you get punched in the face.
You've never been punched in the face by a professional boxer that big and strong.
I guess that's true.
So, once you see him get in the ring with a real person for the first time and that happens, and it's not even that happened. If that would have happened if that had happened in the third round after he looked competent for 3 rounds, it'd just been like, hey man, he got caught flush. That that punch is sleeping anybody. But he looked bad and out of place every second of the fight until he got knocked out. I give him credit for getting in there and taking a real opponent and taking a real punch. I mean, he got his jaw broken and smiled. I mean, he stood there and took it. I give him credit for that. But where do you go from here? Why would I ever want to watch that guy box again?
That's the problem. Who's the opponent, right?
I was there for the Mike Tyson one.
Yeah.
I've been there for a few of them. I was there on Friday night. What brings me back? Because now the gig's up. We all suspected he wasn't a legitimate fighter, but we couldn't prove it to you. And he kept saying he was. So all right, let's see. Well, now we know. We saw. So why do I go back to that?
It's a fair question.
Yeah.
It's a fair question.
Now, in fairness, he and his brother, I know people like to get their jokes off on them and people hate them and whatever. I find them to be brilliant. It doesn't mean I like them or co-sign everything they say or do. To be clear, I don't. But I'm impressed by them. Like they're sharp. I mean, these are two brothers who have built empires. They've made themselves into incredible businesses. That's not something to be mocked. That's something to be studied. People used to mock them Kardashians and Kenners all the time, right? Jenners, right? You'd be like, oh, look at them. What do they do? You know what they do? Make billions of dollars. All of them. They're all billionaires. It's crazy. All right? Laugh at them if you want to. Call them talentless and say whatever you want. But I don't know. Kendall's got the tequila and Kylie's got the lip gloss and Kim's got everything. And, buddy, the checking accounts look good.
Yep.
Mock them if you want to. I'm more interested in trying to figure out how they did that. I have some theories, but we'll get to them another day. And say the same thing with the Paul brothers. Mock them if you want to. But they have built empires out of nothing.
They have.
And have reinvented themselves over and over again. You know, Jake Paul didn't start out as a boxer, and Logan Paul didn't start out as a wrestler. But they are now two of the biggest people in those two forms of entertainment. Not best, but two of the biggest. And with Logan Paul, he's actually one of them. He's like good. Mm-hmm. But they're two of the biggest personalities and people in these entertainment businesses. And they've reinvented themselves multiple times. So I assume they'll do it again. But the boxing thing, it's not over, I don't guess, unless he wants it to be. But I think you have a hard time. Whatever numbers he did, I guess I'd bottom line it this way. Whatever numbers he did Friday night on Netflix, I don't think he could ever get those numbers again. Boxing, unless you went real gimmicky stuff and pulled in a Conor McGregor or Floyd Mayweather or something like that. But outside of something like that, where it's just, we're not even turning this on to see if it's a fight. We're just turning it on because it's a circus and let's look at it. Unless it's something like that. I think the idea of him ever legitimately being a boxer, that's over.
I think, too, like, Netflix isn't just going to give you a free pass. Like, you have to have something compelling to put on their network, on their platform. Yeah.
Reportedly, that was part of the reason he did this fight, is because they pushed him to, like, hey, man, we got to do something big. But I don't know. If you're Netflix, are you trying to put the best thing in the world on a big stage, or just, hey, if it gets numbers, it gets numbers?
I think they're trying to really legitimize themselves in the sports, universe.
Perhaps. I guess there'd be one argument to be made. If I ran Netflix, it'd just be like, I don't care who Jake Paul's fighting.
Yeah, what's getting the most views?
As long as 130 million people are here, I don't care. Like, if we could get 130 million people to show up to watch Jake Paul fight a bum, that's amazing. Let's do it until people stop. But reportedly, they were pushing him to, like, step it up a bit, and now this happened. And it could just be, where do you go from here in a boxing ring? But I'm sure he'll make an announcement at some point.
Yep.
Be back with Carry Out.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Watching the Grizzlies is easy with FanDuel Sports Network. If you have cable or satellite, you're all set. Find us on your channel lineup. You can also use your TV provider login to watch games on the FanDuel Sports Network app. No cable or satellite? Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network online. You can also watch on Prime Video by adding a FanDuel Sports Network subscription. Not sure where to start? Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com to learn more.
The only thing better than Saturday Night Hoops is when it comes with an exclusive Grizz hoodie. Every Saturday this season, $60 gets you a Grizzlies ticket and a limited edition Grizzlies hoodie. 4 different hoodie designs dropping across 4 Saturday games. Not sold anywhere else. Don't miss your shot to collect all 4 designs. Grab your tickets and gear up now at grizzlies.com/Saturday.
Let's face it. There's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Grizz Nation, Friday nights just got a whole lot better. Introducing Buckets and Brews, the ultimate way to tip off your weekend. Every Friday this season, grab a terrace-level ticket to the Grizz game and 2 12-ounce Miller Lights for just $55. Get great seats, cold brews, and Grizzlies basketball. It's everything you need to start your weekend off right. So get the deal that's too cold to hold. Go to grizzlies.com/Friday to lock in your tickets today.
Grind City Media Holiday Special. Kick off your celebrations with us. 9 a.m. on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. Spend your morning with your favorite Grind City Media personalities as they dive into all things Grizzlies, the NBA, football, and more. You can watch it all on YouTube or on the Grind City Media app starting at 9 a.m. Let's do GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we miss today?
Well, interesting college football headline from this morning. Did you see who Bill Belichick is trying to hire as his next offensive coordinator at North Carolina?
I did.
It's old Bobby Petrino.
How about that?
Old Bobby Petrino. I don't have any jokes, but that's funny, isn't it? Just Bill Belichick and Bobby Petrino, just that.
Yeah, I mean, so, for sure somebody get a camera on that. Like, yeah. That seems like a good buddy comedy.
I don't have any jokes, but I bet you're going to be able to find them on the internet. You won't even have to look that hard.
Probably so.
You know what? I saw football columnists and analysts actually like co-signing this and saying, hey, this seems smart to me. Seems like a good hire to me. Mm-hmm. So perhaps you take a guy who was once called the greatest football coach ever and another guy who was once called one of the greatest offensive football minds in the country, and you put them together, and what do you get?
Hopefully a winning product.
We'll see.
I mean,
you can probably get a lot of things if you put those two men together, but hopefully also a winning product. I happen to be in Atlanta this weekend, CBS Sports Classic. North Carolina's basketball team was there, so there's a lot of North Carolina people there, including like North Carolina beat writers and you know people who cover North Carolina, live in the state, and so you get into these conversations about like, so what's it like to cover that? And I gather
what you would expect.
Exactly, just as weird as you would expect.
Yeah,
that's what I was telling. What's it like to cover the best Belichick thing and everything that it entails? And not quoting one person here, but if I were to say summarize everything I heard from North Carolina people and then put it in a quote, the quote would be, "It's pretty weird. It's pretty weird." And the consensus seemed to be they will not do another year of this.
Oh, there's no way.
Like they would.
They have to win next year.
Yes. If year two is not dramatically different on the field and off, the thought was like they cannot do a third year. It's gotten too crazy. Like just weird. Everything about it's just weird and crazy.
You're bad and it's all eyes on you.
And it's also like I don't understand the North Carolina culture as well as like somebody who lives there or went to school there, but I've been there a lot and spent time in Chapel Hill and there's a very country club atmosphere to it. It's like buttoned up and like we are the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. It's a serious thing. And it's just been turned into a joke in a way that these serious people are not comfortable with. We talked about this before. They thought they were hiring the most serious, respected, no-nonsense football coach in the history of football, because that was Bill Belichick's reputation with the Patriots. And instead, they hired somebody who's dating somebody 50 years younger and, going to cheerleading competitions and just becoming a punchline in and outside of the sport. Like, they make fun of Bill Belichick on Saturday Night Live now. So, just a weird situation there. And now Bobby Petrino's a part of it. So, the headlines, I bet they'll be funny.
What's today's biggest game?
We'll do some college basketball, Bennett.
Okay.
7 o'clock, FS1. Nice non-league matchup. I think I've been to this game before. They do it every year in St. Louis. Missouri against Illinois. It's a border war at the Enterprise Center. Illinois is a 10.5-point favorite. Total's 154.5. How you going to act?
Ooh, 10.5.
Big Ten against the SEC. It's a Big Ten SEC showdown.
Give me... I'll take Missouri.
Missouri plus the 10.5. Bennett said that number's too big. You can watch it 7 o'clock FS1.
What are we watching on TV?
Okay, forget TV for a second. I know you spent your birthday weekend. You went to the movies.
I did.
You went to see the new Avatar movie.
I did.
It sounds like a lot of people did.
Okay, so Friday night, I went and picked up my wife's family's coming into town for the holidays. Went and picked them up at the airport, got home, and everybody's chit-chatting. The kids are screaming and running around and acting crazy and stuff like that. And I was just like, I want to get out of here.
You got away with that?
No, my wife was cool because my wife was like, what do you want to do for your birthday? Right? And I was like,
be by myself at the movies.
I was like, man, no, I said, I really want to see the new Avatar.
Tell me this. Did you go by yourself?
It was, okay. So this was like literally the idea popped in my head like 20 minutes before the movie started. Okay. And so had a big box office weekend. This is a big movie this weekend.
Yeah,
and so I go to look and see because I got to go see it on the IMAX screen in 3D.
I know. We know.
I got to see an IMAX 3D. So I get on, all that's available, very front row. All that's available is the very front row. And it was like, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it.
And there's nobody else in the house who would have enjoyed going with you.
Well, Noah, it's probably still a little too intense for him. He's 6. It's PG-13.
You got to throw him in the water and let him try to swim.
I mean, we did take him to see the new Jurassic Park.
I'm not sure that's what a therapist would say, but
we did take him to see the new Jurassic Park, and that was pretty intense. But the thing is, what I was more worried about was just him sitting front row of the IMAX in 3D. Like that's.
Let me get this straight. Just make sure I got it right in my head. The weekend before Christmas, your in-laws came into town.
Yeah.
And you ditched them all to go to the longest movie in the history of film.
Correct.
By yourself.
Yes.
I don't know why everybody in my house hates me so much. Because I didn't pull that shit off. All right? Why do you think you get a pass and I don't?
Because it was my birthday weekend.
I guess I should have more birthday weekends.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. It was my birthday weekend.
All right.
Yeah.
On one hand, it sounds a little selfish, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I can appreciate it.
Well, my wife doesn't want to see it. Like, she's like, just, you're good. Go ahead.
Your wife encouraged you to just go?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is it good?
Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. I like these movies. I'm a fan of the Avatar movies. All right. It's good in the sense that, like, if you go see that thing in IMAX 3D, it's like the coolest thing you've ever seen. You're like on a ride for 3 hours. It's amazing. The visuals are out of this world.
Right.
It's one of the coolest things you've ever seen. Like, as far as, like, the story and all that, I mean, whatever. It was a great time at the movies. Like, a great time at the movies.
So here's my Avatar experience. I went to see the first one in the theater like everybody else.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember loving it. I remember going, that was cool to look at.
Mm-hmm.
But, I can find cool things to look at on YouTube. Like, what am I doing? As a film, I want to care about the story.
Yep.
I want to be entrenched in the story, and I don't care about what's going on here. I'm bored. That's what it was. This is cool to look at, but I'm bored. That's what I remember thinking. It's cool to look at, but I'm bored. And I don't think I ever saw the other one.
Yeah, and then it was a big hiatus between the first one and the second one, and then the second one came out 2 years ago. Now we have the third one, and I think he has plans to do 2 more. I don't know. They have to make back a lot of money, but it obviously had a really good weekend. Like I said, I thought it was a great time at the movies. I highly recommend people go see it. The reason that James Cameron was asked about, because he's made some of the great movies. Like, he made the Terminator movies, he did the Aliens, he did obviously Titanic, and someone asked him about, are you ever going to try to make something that might be more friendly, like around award season or something like that? And he said, I make movies for people who like to go to the movies. And I was like, you're damn right you do, Big Jim.
Okay.
And so I support him, man.
Okay.
I wanted to support him this weekend.
I understand that.
And I liked it. I thought it was a blast.
I do plan to go to the movies this week. I'm going to go see Craig's new film.
Me too. Absolutely.
Like, that is where I feel like I want to support.
Hell yeah.
A Memphian, a friend. And also just I'm looking forward to seeing the film. The reviews are positive, and it's a big stage for Craig.
Yes.
He posted last night, they put a billboard right over in Midtown.
Yep. And,
I think I've told this story before. The first time I met Craig, it was like, he wasn't Craig Brewer yet.
Mm-hmm.
He was on his way to being what he's become, enough to where somebody was like, hey, I want you to meet this guy. And then it was like, hey, good to see you. And, well, good luck. It was one of those. But I had no context for who he was or what he was going to do. He was just a guy popping around Midtown. And I was just a guy running in similar circles sometimes. And that was that. And I can imagine what that must be like for him. This is his home. These are the bars he used to be in when nobody cared about anything he was doing or even thinking about doing. And now he's made one of the great films that sort of showcase our city and our culture. And that film will have a connection to the city and a song connected to the city forever. And now he's got a big Christmas Day opening with a billboard above a bar I know he drank in a million times.
Yep.
And he posted that last night, and I can imagine how proud that makes him. And I was just like, yeah, I'm proud of him. Like, that's just, I love seeing people from here do it. And he's been the best of us in many ways for quite a long time now.
Yeah.
For quite a long time now.
Dude, yeah. His filmography is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like worked with some giants. And I know, perhaps unless you're Spielberg or maybe even, as a filmmaker, there's going to be some ups and downs typically, for just about everybody. And I know there was some of that in there, but then he did the Dolomite thing with Eddie Murphy that was well received and pushed him to another place. And now you get opportunities to do things like this. Like, they've got to trust you and believe in you to give you a big budget Christmas Day opening. And that's what he got. Like, that's a win in and of itself. Regardless of what happens next, you got to a point in your life where studios believed they could trust you with a Christmas Day opening. You know how many people get into filmmaking business and never get to that point? Never get to that. Almost everybody who gets into it never gets to that. It's not even something you can reasonably dream about. But it's his life right now. So I'll be there this week.
I'll be there too.
All right. And Avatar, 2 thumbs up or whatever. What are we doing?
I thought 2 thumbs up.
Okay.
I thought 2 thumbs up. I had a great time.
All right.
Yep.
I'm glad. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, man.
Glad you get to spend your weekend alone by yourself in a dark room.
Well, I'll hang out with my family tonight.
We'll say unless you decide not to.
No, there's nothing.
Unless you decide there's something else you want to do all of a sudden.
There's nothing out. Those movies don't come out until Christmas,
all right.
so we're good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good for
What's
everybody.
the best thing we've read?
So Bruce Feldman had a piece this morning at The Athletic where he talked to 20 different people connected to Sherrone Moore, University of Michigan, and to paint a picture of the Michigan coach. And it's probably not going to surprise you, but it's not the best picture. It's not the best picture. It was always a matter of time before this was going to blow up.
Well, I saw part of it was that he really tried to promote getting away from being on your phone all the time to his team when he was on the phone all the time. I mean, DMing OnlyFans models.
Bro, I mean, what? He held a press conference to talk about how he's got his team off of social media so that they can lock in and focus on the most important thing, the only thing that's important, and that's his football team. And then he would be like, all right, everybody, I'll see you tomorrow. And then go DM Instagram models. He's a wild fella.
Yeah.
I don't think he got the memo. You're supposed to look at them. You're not supposed to try to engage them.
Yeah.
Just scroll, buddy. Ain't nobody gonna try to end your career over scrolling. I don't think. But my God, trying to hit him with the wave emoji, you gotta calm down. There's one OnlyFans model. She's like, I don't know this guy. I didn't even know he was the Michigan football coach. I don't care about football. I don't know about Michigan. And then I was like, well, is this the Michigan football coach? And I thought it was fake. But then next thing I know, he's like, we're talking. I'm talking to them. She said he DM'd her like 20 minutes before a game. And then hit her back 5 minutes after the press conference. And she's like, this is weird, even for me. I'm an OnlyFans model. You can't imagine the weird things I get from people. But even for me, this was like, what is going on with this guy? It was always a matter of time.
Yeah, sounds like it.
It was always a matter of time for him. And yeah, talking to people around the program, Bruce Feldman doesn't report that everybody knew this was going on between he and the staffer, but everybody, or at least lots of people, assumed there was something there. So yeah, it was always a matter of time before this blew up. If you want to read it, you can find it theathletic.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's Tuesday. You know who's going to come in studio with me? Evan Hayes. We're going to bring Evan Hayes back in studio.
Hey!
Yeah, he's in town. Got a nice little break from school. So connected with him, I guess, last week, maybe week before. And I said, hey, why don't you come in studio and chop it up? We'll talk Grizzlies. I didn't know we were going to have to do it under these circumstances with 8 guys on the status report after what might not be the best night in the world against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I didn't put all that together. All right. But hey, we'll get through it.
Hey, this is why they lace them up.
This is why they lace them up.
Mm-hmm. Anything can happen in an NBA game, GP.
Don't tell me.
Yeah.
I just watched the Grizzlies lose to the 4-win Wizards.
Exactly. Maybe our fate's different tonight.
It'd be nice.
It would be nice.
It would be nice.
Yep.
Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to enjoy mine. We will meet back here tomorrow at 10 till the